I'd made it to the one and only Principality of Liechtenstein, a country so small that not only can you rent the entire nation, and Snoop Dogg even tried doing so, but you can walk between its two biggest cities in about 35 minutes. In the last vlog I told you about the plane, trains and walk across the border, and now it's time to show you a bit more of this intriguing country. To get from Schaan, where I was staying, to the capital Vaduz, where most things happen, you can either get the bus or take a walk down the long stretch of road connecting the two. I opted for the latter so I could enjoy the scenery en route. So Liechtenstein's one of the 3 least visited countries in Europe, and that's not surprising when you consider the Liechtenstein Centre behind me, which is just the tourist information centre, is the 2nd highest rated attraction on TripAdvisor for the whole country. And I think that probably says it all. Not that they've got a lot of tourists to cater for, but I think you need to be doing better than having your 2nd best attraction being a tourist information centre, somewhere where you get free maps, leaflets, that sort of thing, get a bit of help. Hardly an attraction, is it? After a quick look around, I walked back to my hotel, stopped off at Spar Gourmet for something to eat, as Liechtenstein is one of the most expensive countries on the continent, so I opted for a supermarket dinner. Then I awoke early because I wanted to make the most of my day, and this time I decided to try another route to Vaduz, this time catching the bus from Schaan station. Woke up this morning, like overnight there's been rain, a bit of cloud, after some beautiful weather yesterday. And I get up this morning, I sit down for breakfast, I look out, and I can just see this absolutely magnificent view. I'll just show you now. Now the scenery here is stunning enough as it is, but when the mountains are covered, or the tops of the mountains are covered with snow, it just looks phenomenal. I mean, everywhere you look there's a hill or a mountain, and one of the most famous attractions in Vaduz is right in front of me. It's Vaduz Castle, which I think is where the prince lives, and I don't think you can go and visit it unfortunately, but it'd be cool if you could. I was right, as in 1993 the prince moved in with his family and adopted Vaduz Castle as his official residence. Although you can walk up to the castle gate, there is no entry or guided tours for visitors. And as I'm sure you'll be intrigued, here's a look around the Liechtenstein Centre, which, when I visited, was the country's number 2 rated attraction on TripAdvisor, but has since ascended the rankings and now somehow occupies the top spot. There are some decent museums in Vaduz, including the Kunstmuseum, which is the State Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, as well as the Post Museum, which exhibits postage stamps issued by the country since 1912, as well as the history of its postal service. But for me it was off to the Liechtenstein National Museum to learn more about the Principality's history with the aid of an audio guide. Included in my ticket was entry to the National Museum's treasure chamber, which holds the ruling family's jewels as well as the prince's crown. After that I headed on to the Cathedral of St Florin, a 19th century church which sits on the edge of the city centre. In Liechtenstein they have this really cool little idea where, like a book exchange, where you can go and take a book and replace it with one of yours. It's amazing to see something like that, because in England where I'm from, that would probably last about 45 minutes before someone stole all the books and they probably ended up burning them all. So you can't have nice things like that, so that's a cool thing to see here. Tea time soon approached, and it was earlier than usual for me because later on I will be going to my first ever international football game. It was a complete coincidence that while I was in the country, Liechtenstein's national football team were playing a World Cup qualifier against Israel. I couldn't resist, and so I bought my ticket online and headed to Rhine Park Stadium. So when I was looking at going to Liechtenstein, I was doing my research and I found the Liechtenstein national football team were playing tonight at the Rhine Park Stadium in a World Cup qualifier against Israel, so I'm here now. I'm taking shelters in the rain, but I'm excited for the game. And if you watched my last vlog, you'll remember that I told you that Liechtenstein and the UK share the same melody for their national anthems, and so it was amusing to hear this at the game. finished Liechtenstein 0, Israel 1, probably about a scoreline the performances deserved. Pretty poor quality on display. I'm still in awe at some of the passing and crossing, but the one standout performance, probably man of the match performance was from Liechtenstein's goalkeeper. It could have been about 3-4-0 to Israel, but some of his saves were top class. But I think the thing that matters the most is I've had a fantastic night. It's been great to come to a different stadium in a different country, experience my first international football game. So yeah, love that. Now I'm going to go back to the hostel, get my head down, and I'm up early to get the train in the morning. I'm leaving Liechtenstein now, going to head back across the Liechtenstein Switzerland border to get the train back to Ball. I'm going to explore there for a few hours before I go home, which I'm quite excited about because I like going back to other places to see how they change, see what things I can remember, all that sort of stuff, so that's going to be really cool. And I've really enjoyed my time here. I think the football just was the icing on the cake last night. I do think it just needed that little bit extra to make it a really worthwhile visit. I'd recommend it to people. The scenery is stunning, and I think when it gets closer to Christmas time and this area is covered in snow, it'd be a lot even more picturesque than it already is. So I've had a great time, and yeah, thanks Liechtenstein for having me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit of one of Europe's smallest countries. If you like the video, drop a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.